The Kia Sorento loads on the features to take on the crowded three-row market. Does it have what it takes? Let's find out on this episode of Driving Sports TV. This is the 2019 Kia Sorento. This model year is a rather mild refresh for the popular three-row crossover. The 2019 Sorento starts at $26,000 with an inline-4 and front-wheel drive. The model we're looking at today is a top-of-the-line SX Limited all-wheel drive, priced around $47,000. Yeah, I just said $47,000. This SX Limited includes new for 2019 LED headlights and taillights, an upgraded 8-inch entertainment system from the SX model, plus a 360-degree parking camera, heated second-row seats, ventilated first row, and LED fog lights. Let's start with my favorite part of the Sorento, the optional V6 found under the hood. This unit has 3.3 liters of displacement and puts out 290 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque. As an added bonus, it makes very nice noises. Entry-level models get a 181 horsepower four-cylinder, but thankfully, we don't have to test that one. The V6 we have here is connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission that powers the optional all-wheel drive system. They say this system supports torque vectoring, but what does that really mean? We'll find out. EPA rates this setup at 19 miles to the gallon city and 24 on the highway. Towing capacity for the all-wheel drive model here is a decent 5,000 pounds. For the class, the Sorento is on the small side, with 11 cubic feet of storage with all three rows up, 38 cubic feet with the third row down, and 73 total with all three rows folded. Compare that to the competition. Yeah, the new Subaru Ascent has up to 86 cubic feet of storage. And the Chevy Traverse, yeah, forget about it. That one has 98 cubic feet of capacity. To get into the third row, we simply... No, that's not right. There should be a lever right up. It's over there. So they only put it on one side of the vehicle. I guess we'll have to take this shot over there. For some reason, we only get a handy lever on the passenger side, but with it, I can slide forward and crawl in. There's a little space back here. I get my own AC though. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. One thing I really like about Kia's family vehicles is that they really load on the features for the second row passengers. I get a standard power outlet, plus USB socket, plus I get my own vents, I get a place to put a magazine or an iPad, and I even have second row heated seats. Now those are only available in the top end trim like this SXL. I also get window screens, which are very nice. And to top it off, of course, a cup holder. Up front, and the Sorento has a very high seating position. I feel like I'm sitting on the car, not in the car. That said, the seat is covered with really nice Napa leather, it is ventilated as well as heated, and then that same leather is carried to the steering wheel and to the shifter. It's all very much a near luxury experience. It's just disappointing how high I am. I have to say that these systems in the Kia and Hyundai vehicles are actually some of the best ones you can get. And it's not just because of the features, but they also work really, really well. They're very responsive, they're very simple, and they're very consistent. I can also very quickly switch between different options. Oh yeah, a little bit of the ABBA there. If I want to go back to the main display, I just click the Kia logo, and here I can do navigation with the built-in nav system, which again is quite good. We'll do a quick Starbucks search. UCKS, go. And boom, there we go. Very clear, very easy to use. Driving the Sorento is surprisingly enjoyable, in spite of this really awkwardly high seating position. I mean, that engine, just listen to it.
It provides ample thrust too.
Ample thrust is also the name of my 80s hair metal cover band.
It's really nice having a V6 option in this day and age, as everybody is moving away from bigger engines. Subaru, they have a Turbo 4, but this is a proper V6. Let's talk about the advanced safety equipment. Collision detection? Yes. Blind spot warning? Yep. Rear cross traffic alert? It's got that too. Blind spot warnings? Adaptive cruise control? Yes. Basically, you would be hard-pressed to find a feature this car doesn't have. And they were only available just a few years ago on high-end luxury cars. Well, now you can get it in a family-size crossover. And that's great. I mean, this isn't the only vehicle that does it. It's available across the board. But when you're looking at a price range of about $47,000, there's really no feature that this vehicle is missing that another vehicle would offer.
But then there are the looks. This thing is really generic. Nobody would ever take a second look at the Sorento. Even the 19-inch chrome alloy wheels have a hard time getting noticed amongst this monolith of blandness. And it's just not a traditional Kia problem, at least not lately. Kia makes the Soul, also the Stinger. That is a great looking car. This, it's probably one of the most anonymous crossovers you can buy today. But that's not always a bad thing. You see, this car has a V6, and it does encourage you to drive quicker than normal. Nobody will give this a second look regardless of how you drive. So, therefore, V6, anonymous, not a bad thing.
I do like this gauge cluster, how it is all digital. It's really cool because when I set the cruise control, it actually sets a yellow point right in the cluster itself. Very easy to see what my target speed limit is. Also, it gives me all the information about my cruise control, adaptive when it sees a car in front of me, and when lane detection is turned on. It's very clear and easy to use, and I think it's one of the best features of this vehicle.
All-wheel drive in this Sorento is Magna Powertrain's Dynamax system. The same setup is also an option on the smaller Sportage. Kia says it continuously monitors road and driving conditions to anticipate traction requirements. It is, when cruising, essentially front-wheel drive. But at low speeds or when needed, the system kicks in without hesitation, giving up to 50% of torque to the back. In real-world driving, the system's actually pretty good. It does a solid job of scrambling through uneven or slippery conditions, as well as improving handling on paved surfaces. But be careful of the marketing speak. They say it has torque vectoring, but that's using brakes, not power. Also, that lock button, it only locks the torque split 50-50 at low speeds. It's not a rear locker like you would find on the more off-road focused Toyota 4Runner.
Now, we have to evaluate the handling just because this is a complete car review. However, I think very few people shopping for this vehicle will care. And it's not because it's bad that I bring that up, it's because it's fine. I mean, it's, again, as anonymous as this car looks, it also drives in a very similar way. It would be hard-pressed behind the wheel to determine if this is anything else other than what it is. They're all kind of the same in this class. I'm really sure they all put them together and make sure they're as similar as possible.
Competition in this space is really heavy. If you're looking at the Sorento, you should definitely take a look at the following three-row vehicles as well. First, there's Honda's all-new Pilot. This features their iVTM4 all-wheel drive system. Based on Acura's SH all-wheel drive, it's one of the few systems that brings proper torque vectoring to a midsize crossover. Plus, the infotainment and use of space are all really great. Then there's Subaru's new Ascent 3-row. It's like an Outback, but bigger. Instead of a V6, Subaru uses a new 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder boxer, and of course, every trim level includes both symmetrical all-wheel drive and Subaru's class-leading EyeSight safety system. Mazda's CX-9 is probably the best handling of the bunch. A bit on the small side like the Sorento, but it is also a great option. Oh, and then there's the Toyota Highlander. The new SC model looks really great with blacked out features. It also has loads of advanced safety hardware on all trim levels, and it even has an intercom system to the back row. Of course, it's a Toyota, so it'll also retain its resale value quite well. In short, this category is simply loaded with great options. Should you pick this 2019 Sorento? Wouldn't be a bad choice. But with the all-new and slightly larger Kia Telluride just around the corner, even the Sorento may not be the best Kia in this class. So that's my look at the 2019 Kia Sorento SXL. As we have it here, priced around $47,000, it's not exactly cheap, but if you want a 3-row crossover that's easy to drive and loaded with features, it's definitely a car worth looking at, even if it's probably not the one you'll choose. What's the name of your 80s cover band? Post a comment below. Also, please remember to like and subscribe to our videos. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks again for watching. That's straight espresso.